Good.
And we're live.
We are live. Good morning, everybody. It is a Sunday, the 8th of December, 2024. We are live from New Zealand. It is 8 a.m., 8:01 because we're a little late. Sorry about that. The software was a bit of a pain.
The excuses.
I know, excuses. Apparently, your stream key on YouTube has changed. So here you go. Anyway, we're live. We're here to answer all your questions about traveling in New Zealand. But why, Laura? Why are we answering people's questions?
Because we are the experts of traveling in New Zealand. Oh, that's very close, Robin.
Nice. I didn't do that.
But yeah, I'll just give an intro while Robin figures out what is going on. So yeah, we are the experts of traveling in New Zealand as well as the South Pacific. We have been running travel guides for New Zealand and many of the South Pacific islands for around 10 years now. So we run nzpocketguide.com, we run Cook Islands, Samoa, Niue, Tonga, Fiji, and SamoaPocketGuide.com as well. So any questions to do with any of those countries, we are your go-to. But as we do every time we do a live show, we do a theme that we go through, going through people's questions that they have asked across all our YouTube comments. And if you have any of your own, feel free to pop them in the comments below. But yeah, we go through this theme throughout the live show. But if you do have any of your own questions to do with pretty much anything to do with traveling in New Zealand and the South Pacific, then feel free to put them in the live chat.
Are you guys seeing us way too close? Like, are you having the same issue that we're having or not? We'd like to know. Yeah, on our side, it looks like way too zoomed in, basically. I do not understand what can be the problem, which is kind of annoying.
Is there a certain setting for vertical?
Well, I don't know, YouTube. You tell me. Yeah, so are you guys seeing us normally, or is it like super close and very uncomfortably? Are we uncomfortably close together, guys?
Yeah. Let us know if it looks super zoomed in. Anthony and Adil are both here on the live chat. So yeah. And
say yes, you're kind of on the center of the TV and the two sides are empty. Yeah, but is there can you see a logo at the bottom? Like, can you see Fiji Pocket Guide at the bottom, or can you just see? I'm actually going to check on my phone very quickly.
Yeah. So in the meantime, I'll go through we've got some comments in the live chat already.
Yeah.
So Anthony here, one of our long-time viewers on NZ Pocket Guide, says, Anthony, sorry, that's his name. Anthony says, Morena from Rodeo, California. Sorry, I haven't been in the last few shows, but I haven't received any notices of it. Oh yeah, it's working okay.
Cool. It's working fine on my phone, so everybody's happy. All right, cool. We're good to go.
Yeah, so Anthony says that he's sorry for missing a few of the shows, but he didn't receive any notices either. Yes, we have taken a break for a couple of weeks, just sort of...
Mental health break.
Yeah. Just having a little bit of a break, but we're here now. We are here to answer all your New Zealand travel questions. We also have Adil Mula here saying... Kia ora, Robin, Laura, and all the viewers. Kia ora, Adil.
All right, so with all that out of the way, thank you very much, Laura, for covering. I appreciate you. All right, so the theme this week. So again, we're answering all your questions about traveling in New Zealand. However, we do like to have a bit of a theme every week, answer some more questions, etc. And yeah, this time it's kind of like best things to do in New Zealand. I'd call that. So I basically pulled a lot of questions from people from all around the world. They've asked us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, emails, all that good things. MySpace.
No one on MySpace.
And
is MySpace still going?
I don't know. Ask the internet. Is MySpace still going? Anyway, so put all those questions together and yeah, we'll answer them in between your questions. So let's get started, shall we, Laura?
We shall.
Laura, I have Tom from the UK that says, what's the best place for a first-time bungee jumper in New Zealand?
Okay, the best place for a first-time bungee jumper, I think, has to be Queenstown. More specifically, the Kawarau Bridge. That is a historical place for bungee jumping. It's the first place bungee jumping was a commercial sort of tourist activity. It's very scenic, but it isn't the highest one, so it's also not too scary for beginners, although it's still pretty scary.
Yeah, and if you're even more of a wuss, Auckland has a sky jump from the Sky Tower, which is not really a skydive. It's well controlled and it's much less scary. So if you want to kind of dabble in it, that may be a good option for you. Of course, we have more information for you to plan your trip to New Zealand on NZ Pocket Guide. So check that out, Tom, and have fun throwing yourself out of a perfectly good bridge. What's wrong with you, mate? Next up. Should I try whitewater rafting in Rotorua or in Taupo? Asked Rachel from Aussie. Hey, mate.
Good day. Yeah, so between Rotorua and Taupo, I would say do Rotorua if you're looking for like more of a big adrenaline thrill. It is the highest commercially rafted waterfall in that is in Rotorua at 7 meters, I believe. So it has a huge waterfall that you go down. That's where your big adrenaline moment is. However, it's a much shorter trip. In Taupo, you get more gentle rapids, so definitely beginner friendly, but still exciting.
Yeah. So if you're after the scenery and a family kind of trip, definitely Tongariro River, which is in Taupo, is your best option.
Absolutely.
All right, we actually have about a dozen whitewater rafting experience in New Zealand. You can check them out on NZ Pocket Guide for you, Rachel. We have Miss Marble says, we are visiting New Zealand in September 2025 for 10 days.
Ooh.
I would love to visit North and South. Do you think that's doable?
Oh, in 10 days. That would be very tiring. You would miss a lot, I think. I would strongly recommend you choose one of the islands. I know that's probably not what you want to hear, but 10 days is really not long enough to get both islands in comfortably.
I agree. Usually our cutoff date for being able to travel both islands is 14 days, which will allow you a week on each island, and that will allow you to be able to see the whole country. That said, it is doable if you're willing to do a lot of driving, maybe drive in the evening and do activities during the day. It is going to be exhausting, but that could work. We do have some templated itineraries done for you, Miss Mabel, so you can have a look on the website. So you go on NZ Pocket Guide and you click on trip IDs, and there we have like some pre-made itineraries. And then you can check out and see if you think you can squeeze that much within 10 days and doing your research, maybe kind of like skewing you into maybe the opportunity of quitting your job and taking a longer time in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Jokes aside, it is going to be quite a stretch, but doable, yes, of course. It just depends how exhausted you're going to be after your trip.
And how much you're going to feel like perhaps you've missed as well.
If you do want some help, some actual personal help to plan your itinerary together, if you want, on Patreon, we actually do like weekly group calls and all those kind of things so we can plan your itinerary together. If you would like to do that, there's a link in the description below. Otherwise, feel free to ask us the next question right here. And welcome to the live show, Miss Mabel. Mabel K. Mabel K? Miss Mabel K. I like it. Nice. That's cool. All right. Next up. You ready?
Yeah.
We have Mike from the USA asking, is skydiving in New Zealand really worth it, and where is the best spot?
Okay.
Franz Joseph's the best spot. I said it before her.
It is absolutely worth it because New Zealand is so scenic, so you get all that beautiful scenery as you are doing a crazy adrenaline activity, which also New Zealand is kind of famous for its adventure. So definitely worth it in New Zealand, and the best spot in both of our opinions is Franz Josef because it's a smaller operation. You get, it's much more intimate, but also you get the views of the mountains, the glaciers, all the way out to sea.
Yeah, and they offer one of the highest skydiving in the country. And to be quite fair, if you do a skydive, you may as well go high so you actually enjoy it for even longer. We compare all the different skydiving options in New Zealand on NZ Pocket Guide. So yeah, check out the website. It's free.
Why not?
Why not?
Check it out.
Okay. Miss Mabel says, thank you so much, and I will check the itinerary. No worries.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's on the website. It's easy to find it out. If you want to check it out, we're here for an hour, so go back and forth. Come and ask us some questions. Go nuts, we are here for you. We also have Othello Bemon saying, hello, my name is Othello D. Bemon from Liberia, West Africa city, Monrovia. I will
Oh.
be coming to New Zealand, Auckland on the 28th of December. Welcome to New Zealand, my friend. So how New Zealand look like? How does New Zealand look like? Well, we have a varied type of landscape in the country, right? A lot of people think New Zealand is very small, but we actually have a lot of different type of landscape from the north of the North Island, which is a little bit more arid. It's, usually it gets hotter. In summer, you'll find all the plains kind of drying out and so being like kind of golden, all the way to the bottom of the South Island, which is still chilly even on a summer day, or at least for a little pansy opinion like mine. It's we also do have some subantarctic islands, such as Stewart Island, where they are penguins. So we have kind of everything in between. If you want a good kind of overview of what New Zealand actually looks like, on this very channel, there is a playlist called New Zealand's Biggest Gap Year. During this playlist, we challenged ourselves to do 365 activities all around New Zealand in 365 days. So you can travel New Zealand for a whole year with us with one video every single day. And we show you all different landscapes and things to do in the country through a wide variety of activities from hiking, jet boating, skydiving, bungeeing, etc. Especially the bungee. You should watch the bungee video because Laura's the boss and I'm a wuss. Aside from that, if you have anything more specific to ask Othello, I will be happy to answer it for you. I'm sorry, that was a bit of a generic answer, but it was a little bit of a generic question, so it was hard to kind of balance it out. We have everything. We even have volcanoes here.
Yeah.
We have lakes. We have rainforest. We have so much. So yeah, what does New Zealand look like? Like a lot of different things. It's really cool.
Yeah, and specifically when you're coming in December, that is during summer in New Zealand. So
Peak holiday season.
Well, you will be coming at a very busy time to New Zealand, but it will also be the warmest time to be in New Zealand. I mean, probably not as warm as where you come from in Africa.
We're assuming maybe there are, I mean, I know there is some parts of Africa which are getting quite cold. So we're assuming that Liberia is hot, but maybe we're wrong. What does Liberia look like? Maybe I should turn the question back. What does Liberia look like?
Is there a Liberia pocket guide we can check out?
Oh yeah, liberiapocketguide.com, of course. I'm joking, it doesn't exist.
No.
Cool. All right. Next up on the list. Keep asking us questions, guys. That's awesome. Also, Miss Mabel,
for
where
all
you?
the little hearts you're giving us.
So Miss Mabel, where are you from as well? So we have Othello from Liberia. We know that we have Anthony from Rodeo, California. Adele is from South Africa, if I'm correct. So we only need to know where Miss Mabel is from, and then we know all the viewers. Because it's a small channel here. We don't have 1 million viewers, guys. We don't know where everybody's from. Actually, if you were watching that video, tell us where you're from. I always like to know that. Cool. All right, the next question. Here we go.
Found it?
Yes, found it. I was just really confused because the next question actually comes from somebody from New Zealand.
Oh.
Yeah. So Ben from New Zealand asks, is the shot of a jet in Queenstown as exciting as it looks?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would simply, yes, it is really exciting. It is, you have near misses with canyon walls. You are, like, the way that the jet boat maneuvers, obviously it's very famous for its 360-degree spins. It feels like it's almost gliding across the water.
Yeah, there's a lot of near misses as well.
It kind of makes it feel like it kind of feels like the boat's a little bit out of control, but it is in control. But it's a very weird feeling, very different from your average motorboat.
Yes. I will also add that even just the drive to get there, you actually drive on a road which is notoriously dangerous. And it's
Skipper's
Skipper's. That is correct. I am wrong. I was
very much recommended as well. So in Queenstown, you can do the Skipper's jet, is one of the jet boats. There's also the shot over jet as well. So
then I actually think the Skipper's Canyon is more thrilling than the shot over, in my opinion.
Yeah. Personally, yeah, it is. I think that is true, but shot over is kind of is an iconic one in Queenstown. I think it's one of the first that was like a commercial one. It's really famous. It's really easy to get to. It's shorter as well, so you don't have to take as much of your day. So I still would highly recommend it, but you can compare all the jet boat tours in Queenstown on our website. We do have a comparison.
We've done them all.
So yeah, check it out on nzpocketguide.com.
Miss Mabel is from Oregon.
Oh,
nice. Do you have moose in Oregon? We have a Patreon member, which is a lovely lady from Montana, and she posts a lot of photos of the moose that are hanging out in her garden. Looks cold. Oregon sounds cold. Anthony says, watching on my you on my TV on YouTube and it froze up and I'm able to watch on my phone, but my TV froze up for me. Oh,
Aw.
maybe restart the app. Maybe it's a if it works on your phone, maybe it's a TV problem. But who knows? Call the cable guy. He'll be here between the 1st of December and the 23rd of July between 9 and 12 p.m. If that's a joke that's still relevant. Do cable guys still a thing in the US?
Probably not for watching YouTube.
Yeah. All right. Cool. What's the most scenic drive in New Zealand? Asks Emma, Laura.
The most scenic drive
There's
in
a
New
lot of
Zealand.
scenic drives.
There it really is. I mean, some top ones I think that come to mind would be the Milford Road. So the drive
Yes.
down to Milford Sound. There's a lot of really cool stops along the way. And obviously the scenery is beautiful. Mountains are so amazing.
I also like driving around the west coast of the south end of New Zealand
Ooh,
just because there's so
yeah.
many little pit stops to do from the Punakaikis to the seal colonies to the lighthouses, etc.
Yes.
So there's a lot of like small pit stop, which makes it really fun and scenic.
Lindis Pass is
Oh, yeah.
really beautiful to just drive through. Although there's not that many stops on the Lindis Pass, there's like one decent scenic pullover point. But I mean, the drive itself
Yeah.
is just like, ah.
Oh, wow. I have to pick one in the North Island. Driving toward the Tongariro National Park, you've got that basically plains everywhere, but then you have that gigantic volcanoes, those gigantic volcanoes kind of staring at you and you staring back, and it's just a standoff and it's just really, really awesome. So, yeah, I think that's...
And the drive along
more.
Lake Taupo is quite nice as well.
All right, I think we're gonna wrap it up there.
Yeah,
we
that's
actually have a list of our favorite scenic drives in New Zealand on NZ Pocket Guide. So check that out, nzpocketguide.com for you, Emma. Miss Mabel says you should visit Oregon and Washington State. You will love it. End of June to early September is the best time to visit.
Ooh, nice.
And
Thanks for the travel tip.
yeah, I like it. We try to stay away from long haul flight now that we're getting a little older. It's just a bit tough. So when we do long haul flight, we want to do them for very long period of times.
Yes.
Not just for like short period of time. So yeah, we focus a lot on the South Pacific Island. I don't know if you know that, Miss Mabel, and you can see the logo at the bottom of this video. We actually do travel guides for a lot of the South Pacific Islands now, which are only like an hour and a half, 2 hours, 3 hours at most. No, is there any island which is 3 hours?
Yeah,
that we don't
3
do?
hours.
Yeah, 3 hours at most, right? And so that's the thing that now we can handle. Too many flights. That our youth is just flying away from us the more flight we're taking. And I won't stay young forever.
Oh. Anthony's saying, stay safe, but I'm here till the end. Are we nearly at the end yet?
Absolutely
we are
not.
17 minutes in, but thanks for getting your signature comment in there,
I
early,
like it.
Anthony.
All right, next question, Laura. You ready?
Yes, you did miss one before about we didn't talk about the glacier, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, here you go. Chloe from Canada asks, where can I hike on a glacier in New Zealand?
Well, you can hike there's 3 main spots. People don't often know that, but there are 3 main places that you can go hiking on glaciers. The obvious one would be Franz Josef, which
The most famous one.
that's the most
indeed.
famous one. It is really awesome. It's an ever-changing environment. It's very cool. They're like literally and metaphorically. There's also Fox Glacier, which is the one that is not as many people go to, but it is right next door to Franz Josef Glacier. Personally, it's one of my favorite glaciers to explore. And then finally, there is the Tasman Glacier on the other
Bing,
side
bing, bing.
of the
That's my
mountain.
favorite.
Yeah, so that's found at the Aoraki Mount Cook National Park. It's better often for that interchangeable weather, or even changeable weather. What does interchangeable even mean? Yeah.
Swapping around.
Yeah, I mean, that still works. But
So so the weather is more consistent in the Mount Cook National Park than it is on the west coast because it's on the other side of the mountain range. So if you are tight for time and you cannot reschedule your glacier hike experience, book it in Mount Cook rather than on the west coast, where you may have to reschedule it due to the ever-changing weather pattern of the west coast. That's my tip. Also, the Tasman Glacier is New Zealand's longest glacier, so that's pretty cool. That gives you an even more grandiose kind of place. So do a skydive in Franz Josef and your glacier hike in Mount Cook. That's
Oh my God, you've planned everyone's itinerary for
exactly.
them right here.
Here you go. That's what we do here at NZ Pocket Guide. But you can check out video right here on YouTube, videos with an S right here on YouTube of us doing all three of those. You just have to type the name of those glaciers in Google and then put NZ Pocket Guide, and you will find those videos and you'll be able to decide for yourself which one's your favorite.
Or in YouTube, rather.
Yeah,
Both will work.
that's true. All right. Next up, what do you say? Oh, Anthony says, I thought you said you were ending it, so that's why I said that. Oh, no, we're not leaving just yet. 12 of you is watching. Of course, as soon as I say that, you guys are leaving. Any questions, let us know. We're here to answer all your questions about traveling in New Zealand. In the meantime, we are taking questions from, present, past, and future comments that we got on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. What else exists as social stuff?
Blue
Oh,
Sky.
yeah, I started an account on Blue Sky since the election because everybody is flying to Blue Sky. So yeah, here you go. I started an account on Blue Sky.
Follow us on Blue Sky. Do you know what our handle is? Okay, we'll get back to you guys.
Pocket Guide at Pocket Guide. Blue Sky at Pocket Guide. I think. Yeah. We never got a single comment on Blue Sky, so here you go. You may be the first person to ever put a comment for us on Blue Sky. So here you go. Oh, did we? Oh, we actually had one follower. I think. I don't know.
Join the one follower, guys, on Blue Sky, and we'll meet
Double
you
or
there.
following there. Anyway, cool. Moving on. It's just all about keeping the handle. We don't care that much on social media. Don't worry about it. You don't owe us anything. Cool. Are you ready for the next question?
Where are we at? Oh, yeah. Yes, I'm ready.
Hiroshi from Japan asks, where's the best place to see the glowworms in New Zealand?
Ooh. Well, one of the best places to see glowworms, because there are many, 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 but very famously, the Waitomo Caves is really awesome. You can do caving under them, you can do boat tours under them, so there's lots of different ways to see the glowworms there.
It's the easiest kind of more commercialized ones, so the easiest to access. Aside from that, there are many other places in New Zealand where you can see glowworms, which are either kind of free, kind of things that you stumble upon, or some much smaller operations. So one of them is in Te Anau, which is near Queenstown, and they will take you to across Lake Manapuri, if I'm correct.
No,
Mapurika?
Lake Te Anau, it's called.
Oh no, that's when you go to Dafulsan, you go through those lakes. So you go through Lake Te Anau, and you'll be able to go through a beautiful glowworm caves. And there are also a lot of little nooks and crannies around the country where you can just see the glowworms for free.
Even just in the bushes sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. There's like a famous place near Hot Water Beach, for example, on the North Island. So what we've done is that on NZ Pocket Guide, if you just type glowworms, there is a list of all those places where you can see glowworms. And it's pretty cool to see that there is actually many places that are going to be on your itinerary already. So may as well check that out for you, Hiroshi from Japan. All right, next up we have Anna from Germany asks, are the Marlborough Sounds worth visiting for a day trip?
If you have the time, absolutely. It is really awesome to do like kayaking or boat tours there. There are islands that are bird sanctuaries.
Yes.
There is the famous
Motuapa? No.
Motuora?
Motuora, yes.
I think so. There you can do the Queen Charlotte track, which is not a great walk, like classed as a great walk.
But it's a great walk.
But it is a great walk, and you can also do mountain biking on it as well. So if you have the time, it's absolutely amazing. However, if you don't have the time, rest assured you do go on the ferry between the North Island and the South Island through the Queen Charlotte Sound, which is one of the Marlborough Sounds. So you do get a taste of it then.
There's also some cool adventures and experiences to have around the Marlborough Sounds. You can do some mountain biking, but there's also a really cool dolphin cruise where you can go in there and see dolphins and sometimes orcas. We have yet to have seen an orca because apparently they hate us. They always go away when we're here. But one day we'll see an orca there.
They always go around with their sign saying, "We hate Robin and Laura."
They're picketing me. They're horrible orcas. All right, more info for you on NZ Pocket Guides. We have full guides of the Marlborough Sounds for you, so you can check out all the different things to do. And the best thing in Marlborough Sounds to sip on the wine after the big adventure.
Or during.
Don't mountain bike and drink, guys. No, that's bad advice. Cool. Sophie from France, bonjour. She says,
Could you say that in a less French way? As a French person, I would have thought you could do that like pretty well.
okay, Sophie from France says, what's the best spot for wildlife watching in New Zealand?
Ooh.
Okay, so it really depends what kind of wildlife you're after, Sophie. So what I'll do is I'll give Laura some type of wildlife and she'll tell you where's the best place to see it. So
Okay.
where's the best place to see seals?
Kaikoura.
Where's the best place to see whales?
Kaikoura.
Where's the best
And
place?
Auckland.
Where's the best place to see dolphins?
Kaikoura.
There you
I
go, you
see where
answered.
this is going.
Where's the best place to see albatrosses and seabirds?
Dunedin.
Where's the best place to see little blue penguins?
Oamaru.
Where's the best place to see kiwi birds?
Stewart Island.
Where's the best place to see what's the name? Chaos. Here you go. I was like, what's the name of that alpine
Oh yeah.
parrot?
Arthur's Pass.
Okay. And I think that's basically like some of the most popular kind of
The
stuff.
one that
Oh,
people
what's the best
mostly
place to see
see.
gannets?
I would say Cape Kidnappers Hawke's Bay.
All right. So that should help you out a little bit, Sophie, in making your choice. It depends on which wildlife you're after, for sure, right?
To see a mixture of them, I would say go to Dunedin, the Otago Peninsula. That's got a good mix. Penguins,
albatross,
seals,
penguins,
sea
seal.
lions. Did I say penguins?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. More information about each of those different animal types and where to find them on NZ Pocket Guide. So we have the best place to see penguins, the best place to see whales, the best place to see, etc. So we have an article for each of those for you to be able to plan your trips, Sophie. All right. Remember, everybody, if you want to ask your own questions, go for it. We are here for you. Adil says, Adil says, of all the cities in New Zealand, which city is the quietest, least populated one? Wow. So there is a lot of very small settlements in New Zealand, right? I would say from my personal experience, right, the town of Whangamomona, it's located on the Forgotten World Highway, which already tells you it's pretty small and there's not that many people there. It's probably quite up there when it comes down to like being really quiet. Whangamomona is WHA.
NG.
NGMOMONA. Anyway, so that's Whangamomona. Yeah, so we were there for a couple of nights, during New Zealand's biggest gap year. We stayed in a hotel where it was literally just us. Even the staff left, so it was just us and the creaking kind of house. We've
I
seen
feel like
no
we were
one
the
else.
only ones in that entire time.
I know no one else was there. Even we literally only talked to the one owner, and that's it. We walked around the post shop. It's a really eerie video. You should check it out. Just type Republic and then NZ Pocket Guide on YouTube.
Because
and you watch that.
they did
Yes.
vote for themselves to be their own republic within New Zealand.
So you can get your passport stamp. It's just a really quirky kind of place, but it was absolutely completely empty every time we went through that. So yes, that would be my choice for the quietest and least populated one. Do you have one, or are we wrap it up at that?
No, let's wrap it up with that. That's a great answer.
Nice. Cool. Next up on the list, we have James from the USA. James from USA asks, can I really see a kiwi bird in the wild? Well, if you're lucky and quiet.
Yes, so kiwis, they are nocturnal, they are elusive, they will run away if they see you or if they hear you rustling about, so they're really hard to spot. But one of the best places I would say would be Stewart Island, because there's a species of kiwi bird there that do tend to stay out until like midday before they go, hiding in their burrows.
They are party animals.
They are party animals over there in Stewart Island. So that's where we've had our best success of just like stumbling upon.
You can see a video of
kiwi
us
bird.
doing a hike there and actually spotting a kiwi bird. It's very fleeting and it's very quick.
Yes. But otherwise joining sort of a guided tour that's specialized where, with a guide that knows what they're doing, that definitely will increase your chances. It is very small chance that you'll see one just by chance in New Zealand.
Indeed. So on YouTube we have videos of all our kiwi bird encounters. Multiple times it is with conservation workers, that we encounter kiwi birds in the wild, not just by ourselves. Only one time we successfully saw them on our Mark says, "Hey, Mark, how are you doing?"
Yeah, it's been a while.
Mark says, "What city or town would you recommend to retire in? Not Auckland, has good healthcare facilities." Well, have you heard of Cambridge, New Zealand? So Cambridge, New Zealand is basically a posh retirement village. The entire town is just that. It's located not too far from Auckland, so they do have like health facilities in there. But if you do need better healthcare, then you can make your way to Auckland within only about an hour and a half drive. It's located, kind of south of Auckland, so you have access to the entirety of the North Island. So if you want to retire in a place where you still want to be some sort of an active retiree, it's pretty cool. Aside from that, the town is equipped with everything that a retired person would like, such as antique shop, newspapers, and I'm not making it up, as well as bulk posh stores. So
Plenty of cafes for your morning walking group.
better of all of those cafes have heat lamp in winter, so you as a frail elderly will not be too cold afterwards.
Blankets on the chairs outside, so you can wrap up warm.
And on top of that, it also has a lake literally almost right in the center of town for a nice peaceful walk and feeding the ducks, because there is nothing better when you retire than feeding the ducks. Mark says, "Yep, I have family in Cambridge." Look at that, nailed it on the head right here, my friend.
Do you agree, Mark, or what? Or did we take that too far?
And on top of it, the town is that posh that there's a golden horse statue somewhere in town. So, it kind of like makes you feel like you made it when you retire. All right. Richard says, "Kiara, spending a month on the South Island next November." Ooh, lucky man.
I love how early you're planning.
Yeah. Would you recommend a central base or maybe 3 bays, 10 days each?
Ooh, I would go for the latter option.
3 bays, 10 days each for sure. So if I were you, my friend, I would actually do one base such as around the Christchurch area, so you can explore all the Canterbury. You can even make it to the Southern Alps, to Karora. You can go to Kaikoura, etc. So you have a nice base right here. Then you make your base around the Queenstown area, so then you can kind of explore all that south of the South Islands, and then you get yourself a base on the west coast, so you can explore the beautiful west coast in there. But more than that, what I will actually do for you, Richard, or what I will actually suggest for you, Richard, is rather than doing bases for 10 days each, what I will do is actually I will do bases for 9 days each and give yourself one night over pit stop in between each of them. So like that, you also have that feeling of a road trip. So that's basically the way how I would do it. So for example, I would go Christchurch, let's say 9 or 8 days, and then 1 or 2 days in Dunedin, and then make into Queenstown, and then a bunch of days there, and then do one night, for example, in Franz Joseph, 1 or 2 nights there, and then head to Westport, for example, for a bunch of nights and doing new activities, and then kind of keep going in that way. That would be my personal tip for you, Richard. We offer trip planning help on Patreon. There's a link below. We're happy to help you with that. Otherwise, go nuts. Ask us any follow-up questions for that. Or we also on NZ Pocket Guide, we also have pre-made itineraries. We do have a 1-month South Island itinerary already written by us, basically our dream 1-month itinerary in New Zealand. So the way to find it is you head to nzpocketguide.com. Don't worry, it's all free. And then you click on trip IDs, and then you'll be able to browse and find the 1-month South Island itinerary. Bingo! Any extra questions, Richard? Just ask. Mark says we made him smile, so yeah.
Adil says, follow-up question, which I was just quickly having a look up just then. Does that town have all the emergency services?
Yeah, we've seen the fire station multiple times because Laura got us lost in the town recently. I just want to point that out.
Yeah, of course, like the emergency services is in the the fire station, the police. They do have obviously plenty of health centers.
Yeah.
I just saw there is a news article that was saying that a new a hospital is being built in Cambridge. So I don't know if that's going to include an emergency section there, but I imagine so.
The way I compare Cambridge to anything else, right? If anyone has seen the show Parks and Recs, right? The show Parks and Recs follows people in a town called Pawnee, Indiana, right? Which is kind of like a little bit of a, subpar bar town, right? And then there's the town of Eagleton, which is supposed to be absolutely perfect with people on hoverboard and etc. Like just kind of like, taking the joke that far, right? Well, Cambridge is the Eagleton of all of New Zealand. It's like perfect, super clean and all that. So yeah, it's your Eagleton. I think your rates must be quite high actually, but who knows? All right. Richard says, thanks, I will check it out. No worries, mate. Always happy to help. And any follow-up questions, we're here for you for another 25 minutes. So yeah, make use of our knowledge. But yeah, all that is good question, by the way. I just want to thank everybody right here for like all the really great questions in the chat. I actually really enjoy. They're all like super relevant, really fun.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it. Yeah.
Keep them coming.
Also, I've never been asked where to retire in New Zealand. So, they're also new. We've been doing this travel guide of New Zealand for almost or more than 10 years. Yeah. More than 10 years, right? Nobody ever asked me that. So, I like it. I like to still be surprised.
Yeah.
It's
our journey through the travel of New Zealand. It's
no, that's so telling.
We used to do young backpacker content as we were, young backpackers 10 years ago. And now we have come to our retirement content, guys.
I think it's Mark's strong hint.
Oh, dear.
Okay, that turned, I was like happy. And then that turned very dark.
Then I just told you how it actually is, Robin.
Okay. Well.
Moving on to another question.
Yep. Okay. Laura, we have Lisa from the UK asking, where is the best place to experience Maori culture?
Ooh, the best place to experience Maori culture, I would say, is the sort of the easiest place, which would be Rotorua on the North Island. You have lots of fantastic Maori experiences there where they do sort of like cultural shows. They'll do like hands-on workshops. They'll do Hāngī buffets. For instance, Te Patu, Mitai Maori Village, the Te Puia as well as many others. We do have full articles on nzpocketguide.com comparing all those amazing cultural experiences in Rotorua as well as across the whole of New Zealand. But if you're looking for just one place, Rotorua is a good go-to.
I wholeheartedly agree. Cool. All right, next question. And there's some new information about that, so that's relevant. Is the Te Papa Museum in Wellington really worth visiting? Asks Matt from Australia.
I think it really is worth visiting. Although now, just so you know, international visitors now have to pay a fee to get into Te Papa, but still it is a really huge museum. It has really a lot to see there. You can spend a good couple of hours and seeing and learning so much and discovering new exhibitions. And there's always like more to it than you think. But yeah, I still think it's one of the top things to do in Wellington city centre.
What I like the most about the Te Papa Museum is the wide variety of exhibition that they have all the time, right? So no matter what your specific interest is, there is usually, sorry for punching the microphone, there is usually something of interest to you. And that's what I really praise about the museum. On top of that, it's really interactive. So there is a lot of museums which are really boring. And I'm not bored at Te Papa. There's always something to play with, to touch, to see, to read, to listen to watch. And so for that reason, it kind of keeps me and my ADHD kind of always kind of on edge and entertained. So I really do like that museum. And because it's so big, you're unlikely to see it all in one visit. So it's definitely worth the admission price. That's my opinion. It is one of our top things to do in Wellington. No question asked. Right, more information on NZ Pocket Guide. Yes, I just kind of wrapped it up. I was like, yeah, that's I like it. I like it a lot. Cool. Next question, Laura. Priya from India asks, can I join a traditional Hāngī meal in New Zealand?
Absolutely, you
yes,
can.
Of course, Priya.
Yeah, I think the most accessible place to join a Hāngī meal would be in Rotorua. There are special actual tourist attractions and activities to do that. You can go to Te Patu, which is formerly known as Tamaki Maori Village. They do a fantastic Hāngī meal buffet, and all the ones we're about to talk about are more in a buffet style because traditionally you are having it in a buffet style as well. You're cooking all the food together in a sort of underground oven, and then it is all sort of presented like each dish separately as a buffet type thing. All
So you also know
sharing
what
together.
you eat because so the meal sometimes is really different kind of
Yes.
food that you used to at home. So you know what you eat, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, so yeah, there's Tepatu, there is Mitai Maori village. They do something somewhat similar at Tepuya, but that's more of like you have more of a la carte menu. You can choose a few different options as well. But yeah, the first two that I mentioned, Tepatu, Mitai Maori village, there would be the best places to go for your Hāngī experiences.
We talk more about the Hāngī and the best foods in New Zealand on NZ Pocket Guide. You may want to check it out because, well, we actually do have a lot of unique food in the country, believe it or not.
Yes.
So check out nzpocketguide.com. All right. Marco from Italy. Italia. Marco, welcome. Buongiorno, Marco. He asks, what's the best Maori carving workshop to visit?
I think the best ones would be on the South Island if you go and do some greenstone or punamu carving. This is, definitely on the South Island in places like Hokitika. There's also in Franz Joseph, there's a really good carving studio there. There's also a really good carving studio in Barrytown, which does bone carving. So yeah, that would be
That's my
sort of
favorite.
area. Yeah, Skeleton Crew Bone Carving Studio.
Skeleton Crew.
They are very, very small. I don't even think they have a full website. You can just find their Facebook page and plan a visit that way. But that's a really good option, and it doesn't take all day to do the carving like it would do if you're doing greenstone.
Yeah, because it's bones, bone carving usually takes you only probably about 3 hours at most, and you're kind of done with the whole thing, which is really great. And the team over there is fantastic, and the doggo is so cute. All right, we do have actually a full article on that on NZ Pocket Guide, and right here on YouTube we also have videos of us doing all of the bone carving and greenstone carving that we just mentioned. So check those out. Mark says, can recommend Mitai Maori Village. It was a great food and experience. Yeah, it's a really cool place. Yeah, nice. Yeah, Mark is just fresh off his trip to New Zealand, which is great.
Yeah.
All right, next question is from Sam from Canada, asking, what's the story behind the Hobbiton... Sam from Canada asks, what's the story behind the Hobbiton movie set, and is it worth visiting?
Well,
the story, a guy had a farm. Actually, the story is Peter Jackson hired a helicopter and flew around some farmlands around the North Island of New Zealand to find a place where he wanted to set Hobbiton. He found out who the farmer was that was having this little hilly paddock, and he was like, hey, mate, I would like to rent your field to shoot a movie. The guy was like, pay up and you can do it. He paid up and they did it. They shot the movie. Obviously, it's movie sets, so all the things were built, placed, filmed, destroyed, removed. And then Hobbiton was just basically back to a bunch of little hills. Seeing the opportunity of making money and turning it into a tourism attractions, they decided to rebuild a few things in order to kind of show it to the tourists. Then the movies The Hobbit came out, a trilogy that was okay at best. And they decided to reuse the same place to reshoot some scenes in Hobbiton. At that point, the farmer wised up and decided, hey, how about we agree that you can do the filming in here, but you have to make the structure permanent so we can show it to people. And so that's how come Hobbiton become more of a bigger attraction. Since then, they have developed it, and they even developed the inside of a Hobbit hole that you can visit. But yeah, that's basically the story. There's not much to it. It's just kind of like, hey, this is how you create a tourism attraction out of a movie set. Is it worth visiting? If you are a Lord of the Rings buff, a really big fan, yes, totally. If you don't really care about the Lord of the Rings, there is really not much to it. And if you're here to discover and see all of New Zealand, there is not necessarily a need for you to visit Hobbiton. But if you're a movie buff, or if you just want those kind of striking kind of Hobbit holes photos for your Instagram, for your whatever TikTok street creds you want to get, well then at that point, this is why people want me to retire. I speak like an old man. Anyway, if you want that, yeah, definitely worth visiting. Otherwise, yeah, check out all the other beautiful natural attractions of the country. We do have full guides of Hobbiton and much more on NZ Pocket Guide, so you may want to check it out. What was your name? Sam from Canada.
You sound like you get so like angry about it.
What am I? I'm not
I'm
angry.
talking about, oh, if you want it for your Instagram account, Sam from Canada.
I wasn't telling Sam off.
Oh dear.
Oh, I'm glad I make you laugh.
Anyway.
But yeah, anything you wanted to add to that?
No, I agree. I do agree with everything, and I'd actually.
Oh, so I'm getting gaslit when
found
you
it
agree.
so funny how you wrapped it up like Sam from Canada. So serious.
I just forgot the name as I was trying to remember the history of Hobbiton. You know,
Yeah.
we have only done the 2 or 3 or 4 times. You know, I can't
You
retain
can
information.
remember the story very well, but I mean, it has been repeated
3 or 4 times.
3 or 4 times.
Sam from Canada.
Anyway.
All right, moving on. Laura,
Yes.
Judy from the USA asks you, what is the best wine region to visit in New Zealand?
Ooh. Well, I think obviously Marlborough is the largest wine region. It is like the thing that New Zealand's most famous for is its Sauvignon Blanc, or as you would say.
Oh no, I think you butchered it good enough. I think that cow's dead. Moving on.
So, or as they say in New Zealand, if you like your Sav, then yeah, Marlborough is really good. Like there's lots of really open cellar doors. You can go around, sort of visit on your own, or you can take tours by bike, by car. So yeah, that would be a good go-to. Otherwise, on the North Island, the next best option would be Hawke's Bay, which is near Napier.
I agree. One thing to keep in mind is that you will drive through a lot of vineyards, no matter where you're going to go in New Zealand, and you'll be able to experience the breadth of all of New Zealand wines pretty much anywhere you go in New Zealand. So you don't have to go to Marlborough to enjoy Marlborough wine. You don't have to go to Hawke's Bay to enjoy Hawke's Bay wines. They're widely available throughout the entire country. We do have a full wine guide of New Zealand on NZ Pocket Guide, so check that out. Anthony says, did you know that they got hotels now out near the area where they made to look just like Hobbit homes? Yes, we've seen that on Instagram. Some people
And then new ones.
Yeah, they built some new like little cabins and everything. I just don't think they're licensed, so I don't think they're going to stay in business for long.
Okay, because there is a motel near Waitomo that that's had a Hobbit hole for years now, years and years and years. So yeah, you can.
They don't call it a Hobbit hole; they call it something else because it's legally distinct. It's a round door of some kind, just a round door, guys.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, we are here for another about 10 minutes, guys. So if you have any, guys and girls, if you have any questions about traveling in New Zealand, now is the time to do so. Otherwise, you have to wait next week. Do you want to wait next week? Hell no, you don't.
We might not even be here next week, so get your questions in now.
Yeah, I think we're here next week, but then after that, it's the holidays, so, you know, we won't be
Get
here.
your questions in now. You don't have time for this.
Right, Sam? From Canada.
You do not have time for waiting till next week. You are probably going to be busy next week, so get them in now.
I'm going to have to find where I got the comment from Sam from Canada and go in writing apology.
Apologize.
I'm going to do a in writing apology. Sam, you may find a video that we answered your question. However, I'm sorry, Sam. All right. Okay. Is a visit to a New Zealand farmers market worthwhile? Asks Bella.
I would say so, yes. It is definitely it's a good way to sort of experience the communities in New Zealand. Usually it's not just about the food, but they'll have like some live music playing as well. You'll get to try some tasty treats, some locally made goods. So yeah, absolutely worth visiting.
The one thing I'm going to say, Bella, is that you have to be prepared for the fact that it's going to be relatively succinct. There is very little amount of large farmers markets in New Zealand. Usually they're pretty small, so it's
small,
kind of like
yes.
a little bit of walk around. It's a 30-minute to an hour affair at most. But yeah, if you happen to, especially they happen in the weekend, so if you happen to stumble upon one, by all means, stop there. It's not a bad thing. Cool. What's the best seafood dish to try in New Zealand? Asks Tim.
Ooh, there is so many. But
crayfish?
yeah.
Power? Fritters?
Yeah. Green-lipped mussels, which is a speciality of Havelock in Marlborough. You can try bluff oysters, which you can in Bluff, all the way at the bottom of the South Island. You can try other sort of mussels and oysters in like the Coromandel area in Waiheke Island. What else?
Well, my personal favorite seafood dish, and it's going to shock a lot of people.
Are you going to say fish and chips?
Yes, I think New Zealand does fish and chips very well, right? While traveling around the world, I usually kind of I have had experience with really greasy and kind of like, you know, sickly, oily kind of fish and chips. But I find in New Zealand the batter is relatively thin. It's not too oily. They're just kind of, I feel like, for lack of a better word, they respect the fish when they do a fish and chips with it, right? And it really does taste like the nice fillet of the fish, etc.
And it's fresh fish usually as well.
Exactly, yeah. So I tend to really do like fish and chips in New Zealand. That's my personal opinion. And Mark D right here says nothing beats a good New Zealand fish and chips. He agrees. Anything else you like?
No, that wraps it up perfectly.
All right,
like we have a nice wrapped up fish and chips.
Indeed, in the newspaper.
In the newspaper. I don't think you're allowed to do that anymore.
No. All right, nzpocketguide.com for all your food tips. We have plenty. Okay, continuing. Are you ready, Laura?
Yeah.
Okay. Are New Zealand's hot springs worth visiting, and which one should I go to? Ask Alex from the UK.
Ooh, I say yes, they are, because it's like a natural geothermal experience. It's really cool that the earth just made all this beautiful hot water for you to bathe in, preferably with a mix of cold water. So don't just jump into any scalding piece of water.
You're not a lobster.
Ooh, best seafood in New Zealand.
I said crayfish already.
Okay. Yeah, so best places to go to. Rotorua is particularly famous for its geothermal attractions there. They have the Polynesian Spa right in the center, but the Waikite Valley, which is just outside of Rotorua, between Rotorua and Taupo, is probably one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, I do really like this one.
Newly opened after 2 years of closure is the Morere Hot Springs.
Yep.
Which is much less visited, but really cool. You have to go through like different bushwalks to find the different hot pools. It is one of my like sort of hidden gems that I really find is my personal favorite. On the South Island, Hanmer Springs, not naturally geothermal, but kind of known for its big sort of complex.
And for the biggest, grandiosest of all views, Maria Hot Springs on the South Island, where you're right in between tallest mountains. It's awesome. So we have hot pool guides on nzpocketguide.com, where you can check out all the different hot pools, or you can just literally type hot pools and then NZ Pocket Guide on YouTube and see us experiencing all of them one by one on video. So check that out.
Amendment, I actually think Hanmer Springs is natural hot springs. I was getting it mixed up with Lake Tekapo, which is not.
Okay. Amendment noted, everybody. All right. Moving on. Last questions. You sure? Yes, last question, Robin. Sorry, I was asking myself if I was sure. Yes. Cool. Mia from China asks, what's the best spot for stargazing in New Zealand?
Most accessible spot would be the Aoraki Mackenzie area. So I'm talking more about the Lake Tekapo or Mount Cook area. Yep. They do lots of different tours there. You can go on like tours to observatories, or you can do like small, intimate, like small group tours as well. So they have a bit of everything. But if you do get the opportunity to go to Stewart Island. I
was about to say a multi-day hike in Stewart Island is the absolute best way to see the beautiful night skies of New Zealand. There's zero light pollution there.
Yeah, so that is the best place we've personally seen for stargazing, and there is one stargazing tour there, which is a nice sort of intimate experience as well. So go check it out.
Hey, you go, Mia from China. I hope that was helpful to you. We do have a full stargazing guide on nzpocketguide.com. Check it out. It's all free. Okay, everybody, since the live chat is slowly dying down, and since we've been live for about an hour, we have answered 20 questions about what they are the best thing to do in New Zealand. We also answered your question in the live chat. Thank you so much to everybody that asked the question, because they were cool, relevant, and fun, so I enjoyed that. I am ready to retire in Cambridge, New Zealand. Aside from that, we have another show next week. So if you have any questions, you can put them in the comments of any of our videos. And if you're watching a replay of this, tell us where you're from. I did enjoy when we almost guessed where everybody was from at the beginning of this video. That was cool. And Adil says, thank you, Robin and Laura, for another super informative, helpful travel show. Adil's the best.
Oh, thank you,
And
Adil.
Anthony scares me away by saying, yeah, at least ain't that Marmite. Bah. Marmite's the worst. All right, everybody. Thank you very much for that. And we see you next week on YouTube. Bye-bye.
See ya.